Gregg is a talented actor, writer, and director whose many films include What Lies Beneath, Choke, and Thor, and, of course, both Iron Man blockbusters. He's back as Secret Agent Phil Coulson for the latest installment of the Marvel franchise, The Avengers. The film opens in theaters everywhere on May 4th and includes an all-star cast. And so here now a scene from The Avengers.
It's an honor to meet you, officially. I sort of met you. I mean, I watched you while you were sleeping. I mean, I was present while you were unconscious from the ice. You know, it's just a huge honor to have you on board.
Well, I hope I'm a man for the job.
Oh, you are. Absolutely. We made some modifications to the uniform. I had a little design input.
The uniform? Aren't the stars and stripes a little old-fashioned?
Everything that's happening, the things that are about to come to light, people might just need a little old-fashioned.
Good to have you on the program.
Thank you. Good to be here.
What do you think it is about this Marvel series? I mean, I was just looking the other day, almost 50 years since we were introduced to these characters. And Hollywood and everybody else, obviously, still loves this stuff.
I know, it just keeps going. They seem to have changed over the years. Certainly you see some of the early Superman, Batman, it's all very kind of black and white. And I think one of the things Marvel did, especially with some of these characters when I was reading them in the 70s, is, you know, re-examine the concept of heroism and having the people who are kind of carrying this responsibility and exercising this kind of authority, whether assumed or not, have a lot of, you know, issues themselves. And I think they built a kind of interesting template in terms of having really top-notch actors. When I got a call to be an Iron Man, I already was, as a fan of the comics as a kid, thought, really? They got Robert Downey and Gwyneth Paltrow and Jeff Bridges to do this? He's going to wear the suit? Yeah. And I couldn't sign on fast enough.
Yeah. To your point about heroism a moment ago, I was going to ask about this, so I'm glad you went there. I wonder how you would compare and contrast how these characters took hold vis-a-vis their heroism 50 years ago, and what we look for, long for, or for that matter, lack in heroes today. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, there's nothing about, as someone who studied it a little bit, there's nothing about the conflicts of World War I and II that anyone could feel nostalgia for, but everything seems to have gotten so much more complicated in terms of what's evil and, you know, who should be fought against and who should kind of take the mantle to do that. There's certainly, when you watch this movie, it's hard not to think about, you know, the United States in terms of, you know, being deemed by others sometimes and by ourselves as kind of the heroes who protect the world, and at the same time very much kind of resented for that. That's presuming that you know how other people want to be protected and the ramifications of that. You know, and at the same time, you know, the other thing I thought when I watched it finally all put together the other night is, oh, it's Apollo. It's the Greeks. It's the, you know, it's the stuff we've been into for, you know, 3,000–4,000 years, and that, you know, this person represents us, you know, because there's a lot of hubris on the helicarrier in the Avengers. There's some big egos, and it's one of the things Agent Coulson has to deal with from time to time.
How does it feel as an actor to be in one of these as a small role, characters playing a small part, and, you know, a few films later, you know, you're a major character? I mean, so part of it obviously is where they write these things. But obviously, if they didn't think that they had the right actor playing the agent, then they wouldn't be expanding the role. So that's got to make you feel good, though.
It does. You know, it's so much more often the case with a character actor, and certainly a character actor of a certain age, that you do this and you go, well, you know, they might expand this.
Yeah.
And it does. Not only do they not expand it,
they shrink it.
You go to the premiere and you're like, no, I wouldn't have brought you all with me. I swear I was in this more in the scripts. So this never happens.
Right.
You know, I feel, as someone who kind of loved these comics as a kid and who really I just love these movies. I love the way they put together these amazing cast. It's not like, you know, I think there were certain periods of time where you go to a superhero movie and, you know, you're going down to a really cheap studio and kind of trying not to look at anyone's costumes too much. And this is not that scenario. It's actors I admire and superheroes I grew up loving, so to find myself actually walking onto the deck of the helicarrier and doing a scene first with like Bruce Banner, there's Captain America, oh my God, is hard enough, but then to have it also be 7 or 8 of my favorite actors, I feel very fortunate, and to whatever extent anything I brought to it has contributed to that, well, nice.
Yeah. I'm going to keep following you in because you keep leading me down this wonderful path of conversation.
Go with me.
I will go with you. I'll hold your hand.
I don't know where we're going.
With you. Yeah, yeah.
I never do.
I will go with you. I've gotten myself in trouble many times on this program doing that.
I've seen it.
Yeah, but I'm going to follow you anyway. You said something a moment ago that I've heard expressed by women on this program over the years. I don't know. Maybe I have. I don't recall. Heard that kind of sentiment expressed from a man. Honestly, and more accurately, a white man, which is that at this age, it doesn't tend to happen this way. Again, I've heard women suggest they get to a certain age in this business and it's harder and harder to find high-quality roles that are expanded as opposed to being shrunk. Yeah. But it just hit me because I never heard somebody express that. So tell me what you meant by that.
Well, yeah, I think that's absolutely true of women, and it's strange, you know. And I certainly, I guess, as a white male who looks like he might be federal agent of some kind, there will always be a certain amount of opportunities. There certainly have been, you know.
It's the glasses.
I get to work in a suit a lot. But I guess, you know, when I got the script for this movie, and I was actually, the way this has always worked, because they're so secretive, as I was doing a scene in Iron Man 2, and they added a new line where they said, just tell Tony Stark that you got to go, you're going to New Mexico. And I, you know, dutifully said it a couple times, and with great conviction, and then I finally was like, what's in New Mexico? Where am I going? And they said, oh, God, no one talked to you? Yeah, you have a big part in Thor. And I thought, wow, it's the gift that keeps on giving. Yeah. And then I was backstage at Comic-Con, and Joss Whedon pulled me aside and said, I'm so sorry, I've been meaning to call you. Coulson has a really crucial, you know, major role in the Avengers. And as soon as I was sure that I wasn't just being really meanly pranked, yeah. You know, I started holding my breath a little bit, but I still thought when the script came in, you know, I'm a character actor, I'm not a movie star like the giant movie stars and brilliant actors who were in this, and I thought, I'm going to walk through and I'm going to give the Hulk a Jamba Juice, and then it's going to be over. And, you know, when I read the script, I guess what I'm really trying to say is, you know, to a certain extent, I feel like if Jeremy Lin was 48, yeah. You know, or 43, I guess in the NBA, 33. Yeah. You know, I've been on the bench. I've certainly had some great roles and some great independent roles, but not in big movies like this. And yeah. I just keep swinging. You know, I keep taking my shots and hoping to get in the game. And somebody put me in the game, you know, after I had certainly kind of considered, well, I'll still be doing these FBI guys. It'll be fun. Yeah, but you also figured out, though, in fairness to your great talent, your immense talent, you also figured out years ago that getting in the game is not just about waiting for somebody to call your number. That's true.
Writing, directing. I mean, you've done that as well, though. And
right.
Done
well, okay,
well.
We're going to go down another road.
Yeah.
It's kind of about feeling, you know, you can feel like you're a song on somebody else's mixtape. You know, and I was lucky. I started out in this amazing theater company in New York that was started by my class at NYU, a bunch of great people, Felicity Huffman, Mary McCann, Neil Pepe, and David Mamet and Bill Macy were our teachers. We just got lucky, you know, be in that moment. And really the ethos was don't spend your first 5 years out of college trying to, you know, bring somebody some, they didn't have Jamba Juice then, like, you know, a Slurpee in some movie, you know, form a theater company and do everything. And that's what we did. And it was life-changing for me because you would, you know, build the set in the daytime and act on it at night. And there's a certain degree of ownership. And, you know, rather than go hire somebody else to direct you, take a shot. Yeah. And when I got out, when I finally said, okay, I want to try out this Los Angeles thing a little bit, there was a lot of sitting around. And I like golf, but I don't like it that much. Yeah. And so I tried to write, tried to make films, got lucky, worked as a screenwriter for a while, and got to make a film. And I certainly found that there's ways that your mind can get exercised in the kind of writing, directing process that I wouldn't want to do without now, in the same way that I wouldn't want to do without the visceral kind of playing in the game aspect of being an actor.
Yeah. Your fans know who your wife is, fine actress herself, Jennifer Grey. And you and Miss Gray have a 10-year-old now, I think.
Yes, we do.
So we started this conversation by recollecting how much you love comic books, that is, as a child. You now have a 10-year-old. Are they at all impressed by any of this?
Well, the short answer, Tavis, is no.
Yeah.
I have a daughter. I have a daughter. The only time this ever got exciting to her was when Disney bought Marvel, and she thought it might mean she would meet some of the people from her Disney shows that she likes,
Yeah.
you know, but she hasn't expressed a great interest yet, although I think she just now started to see some of the stuff for the Avengers, and, you know, she saw Scarlett Johansson, who is as bad as anybody involved with the Avengers, and Kobe Smulders, who plays Agent Maria Hill, and I think it's it's good because you have a daughter, and no matter how kind of progressive your politics are at home, she still suddenly at 3 or 4 years old is saying, I want to be a princess and I want to have a prince.
Yeah.
You know, well, that's okay, but you need to be able to beat him in a fight, you know? And that's why you should come see these movies.
Well, your daughter notwithstanding, there are a bunch of us big kids who are waiting for the Avengers to hit, and I'm honored to have you on the program.
Honored to be here.
Thank you so much, Clark.
Thank you.
That's our show tonight. Be sure to download our new Tavis Smiley app right away at the Apple App Store or iTunes, for that matter. See you back here next time on PBS. Until then, good night from LA. Thanks for watching, and as always, keep the faith.